"That's not right. You should be getting residuals from the sale of your dildo," is something that I've heard many, many times. Although people are well-meaning when they say it, they're also kind of insulting me at the same time, as if residuals was an option on the table and I turned it down in some career misstep. In this episode of Secrets from the Set, we're gonna look at the pay structure for people in the porn industry, including residuals, unions, and outside representations. Let's dive right in. So, I make videos on YouTube that you might enjoy, and if you do, then make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications, because if you don't, YouTube is gonna stop suggesting my videos to you, and then one day I just will not be in your life anymore, and that would suck because I think you and I have a good thing going here. So hit that subscribe button now before we go any further. Okay, so clearly in this video, I'm gonna be speaking from my own experiences in the industry. Other people might have different experiences, and if that's true, I would love to hear about it in the comments. In the beginning, porn stars appeared in movies. First, it was VHS cassettes, and then on DVD, you would go to the store, you would buy or rent these movies, and that was it. Those were your options. Then the internet comes along, but it's like in its infancy, and there was only like a handful of porn websites, and they were run by people like Sean Cody. The point is, if you wanted to do porn, you had to work with someone and for someone. There wasn't an option to go solo and be in control of your own destiny, which means you only get paid from those people that are in charge. Who? In charge. The topic of money is just a weird one in our culture, and especially when it's how much we're getting paid, because it's kind of like a reflection of the value of us as a human being, which obviously it's not. It's not a reflection of how good of a person you are, or even how good you do your job, Elon Musk. So let's talk about the rates that we were paid. If you were a porn star and you were a non-exclusive performer, meaning you did not belong to a studio, but you had a good reputation, you have a good track record, and you're working with a studio, one of the larger studios, you're gonna be paid like $1,200 to $1,500, let's say, for a scene. For one scene, not one movie, one scene. So if you are in several scenes in a movie, you're gonna be paid that chunk however many scenes you're in. Now, if you were exclusive and you belonged to the studio, then you're probably getting more per scene because they have you on lockdown. You can't go out and find work for yourself, which means you gotta raise your rate a little bit because you're kind of under the thumb of the studio who kind of has control over you. An exclusive performer would make like $2,000 and up. On the internet side of thing, at the beginning of the internet, when like Sean Cody and Corbin Fisher and a few of those guys were coming out, you know, the internet was paying less than the studios. Because the internet was new, it quickly evolved to paying the same as the studios as the internet exploded and everyone was going online. And then there was the away gigs. So if you were like an exclusive performer with a studio, they would send you on gigs and you would be doing an appearance for like $1,200 or $1,500. Those were the general amounts of money that people were getting paid in that sphere at that time in that industry. But of course, these are all one-off payments. You get paid once, a period, and no residuals, which for some of the things kind of makes sense. Like if you're doing an away gig and you're on stage and you're performing and people are tipping you, like what are you getting residuals from? Movies were another thing, because now you're thinking, well, if this movie is doing well and it's playing in perpetuity forever and ever, the studio is gonna be making money off of it forever. You get your one-time fee and then fuck off. They're making so much money off of you, but it's something you wanna do. There's somebody right behind you that's willing to take your place for like half the amount. You gotta shit or get off the pot. You gotta make a decision and be like, am I in? Am I doing this? These are the rules of the game. Am I willing to play by these rules? And it wasn't just in movies or scenes that there was a one-shot payment. Merchandise, which was exactly the same. So the best example that I can think to give you is when they cloned my Willy. And I'm not talking about that cheap clone a Willy thing that you bring home and you can do it yourself or whatever. This was like hardcore. This is the real thing. They were making dildos of all the exclusive performers at the time. They came to me with a price, and again, I knew that I would not see residuals from the sale of that dildo. So I looked at the amount and I said, double it, and they did. I'm proud of myself for having negotiated some prices that were better than the average, so kudos to you. At the same time, of course, looking back, I see an opportunity because I still see that dildo on the wall of porn shops all around the world. I'm not saying I would be a millionaire from the sale of that, but it might be some nice pocket money for me. I don't know. I don't know. That's the best example that I can give you, because why do you think somebody is gonna go to a porn shop, look on the shelf, reach up, grab the Eddystone dildo, go to the cash, and pay for it? There's only one reason. It's not the director. It's not the photographer. It's not. The only reason somebody is gonna buy an Eddystone dildo is because of Eddystone. But unfortunately, we had very little power to negotiate because you were only one little voice in an ocean of voices. What if there was an ocean of voices saying the same thing and standing together? Oh, that's right, that's called a union. Let's talk about unions. Was talk about forming a union. It did come up from time to time, and it was usually when there was a big successful movie and it was so evident and we knew that the company was just raking in the cash and they were doing really well. So of course at that point you think, well, like, why aren't we profiting from this as well? Like, the movie wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us as well. Like, we should get a cut. But at the same time, you don't want to rock the boat, and you were out there on the front line, and the only thing at your back was a younger, hotter version of you willing to do it for less. The thought of forming a union seemed so out of reach and impossible, and negotiating your own rates is not an easy thing to do. So let's talk about agents. As you know, in Hollywood, agents exist for a reason. It's really awkward and uncomfortable, and a skill most people don't have to negotiate money on their own behalf. So there's a middleman to do that for you. Porn does have a similar structure. There are agencies that handle rosters of people. It's like a one-stop shop for studios to go check out, pick some models, and negotiate rates. Studios like working with these agencies. They're reputable, they're reliable, they don't have to negotiate with the actors directly. They pretty much know what they're getting. There's a little bit more security to it. But of course, times are a little different, and everyone with a phone, which is everyone, can make content and be in charge of their own money. So let's talk about OnlyFans. The easiest way to work for yourself these days is to post content on sites like OnlyFans and Just for Fans, which is exactly what I do. Just go to patrickmoreno.com to find all of the links. So for anybody who doesn't know what OnlyFans or Just for Fans are, sometimes it's celebrities, sometimes it's artists that you like, sometimes it's YouTubers like me, former porn stars, current porn stars. Anybody, of course, with a camera can make content and post it on OnlyFans or Just for Fans. Paywall. Thank you for bringing that up, Patrick. Yes, the paywall. People pay monthly memberships to see their favorite performers doing stuff on OnlyFans and Just for Fans. OnlyFans and Just for Fans takes a percentage, obviously, they have to make money, it's a business. They're gonna take a percentage of the money you're making. Sky is really the limit. It doesn't matter as long as you can get a following and they follow you there and they're paying a monthly fee to watch your content and you're providing them with entertainment and sexual gratification, then really the sky is the limit with those sites. So that's it, that's all I got. If you have more questions, just drop them down in the comments below and I will try to answer them the best that I can. And for a deeper dive, join the growing number of people who've signed up for my newsletter. It's absolutely free and full of discounts on fun stuff like sex toys, underwear, tech stuff. Just go to patrickmoreno.com. And you know what I'm gonna say now. Say it with me. I'll see you in the next video.